It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
So my friends, November 7th, Election Day. I'm encouraging all of you to please vote. It is very important, particularly these times. We need people to go out and vote and put the right people in, the people who are qualified for the position. I'm here at the Schuylkill County Courthouse, and we're going to be talking to Crista DiCasimirro, who is running for Clerk of Courts. Every one of these row offices are extremely important. They handle your tax money. Are they taking care of their money? Crista, thanks for coming on the show.
Sure, it's good to be here.
Please tell your dad I was asking about him.
I will.
You come from a great family, you know that?
Thank you.
They're good people. All right, let's talk about the Clerk of Courts. Okay, sometimes people, they hear the different row offices, but they really don't have an in-depth understanding of what that office is all about. Okay, so what, first of all, before we get into your qualifications, which I think are the most important things, what does the Clerk of Courts do?
The Clerk of Courts is the criminal filing office. So anything for any criminal case that has to be filed will get filed here. So that would entail bail, any motions, any petitions, which could be from an attorney, could be from the defendant themselves. And that's the main job that we do. But there's many jobs that go on in here that I feel a lot of people don't know about. We handle state constables, we handle private detectives, we take any payment that's coming into a criminal case for restitution, for their fines and costs, for filing fees, bail. We take all that bail money, which can be a lot sometimes.
Oh, yes.
You know, we have to make sure we have qualified people here to handle that amount of money.
What is your background? That's the important thing.
So I started at the courthouse in 2015. I was in the DA's office for the victim advocate, and Maria Casey did oversee that office. And when she was elected to Clerk of Courts, she asked me if I wanted to come along with her.
Okay.
And I did. You know, she was a great boss, so I did want to continue working with her. And I started here. I started just as a clerk. I clerked for some of the judges, and I did every office duty that we had here until I became the first deputy. So I do know probably every single job that there is here in this office. And I'm really good to help with any personnel issues, any of the work-related issues, because like I said, I've been in their shoes. I've been in the women's shoes here. I know I was younger than them when I became their manager, but I know they trust me, and I know they respect me, and I think my leadership speaks for itself.
Looking at the Clerk of Courts, I know when Maria took over, there was a lot of things that had to be cleaned up, all right?
Yes, yeah.
And were you working with her at that point?
I did, yeah.
What were some of the things that were concerning? Because once again, my friends, all the money goes into the general fund, and that's important. That's when you get your tax bill and you see the millage. You want to keep that millage where it is or bring it down. And so let's talk about the cleanup at that time. What was going on then?
So a lot of the bail money is what the issue was with the previous clerk. So we did work along with the state police and our county controllers to have that cleaned up and placed into the general fund with what the discrepancy was. You know, we had to figure out where it came from, where it should be going, and we did all that. It was tedious, but we did get that done.
What involvement did you have in that?
Like I said, I worked right alongside the state police and our county controller and AOPC, which is our system. So I had to search through each and every case that we had here to see where that money was going, where it should have been placed.
And what did you find?
That a lot of it was handled incorrectly, but we were able to figure out where everything went, and we did get it cleaned up. And right now I can say I reconcile every month for all of our accounts. I handle each account that we have here, which we have 3 big accounts, and I handle that every month, and I reconcile, and we've never had an issue.
Well, leadership is so important, okay, and I think with Maria you had good leadership.
Yes.
And now you want to take over the position because Maria is not running for Clerk of Courts.
Right.
But it always fascinates me, and I tell people over and over again, don't vote for Crista because she's nice and she's pretty and she's young or she's whatever. Vote for the person who has the qualifications, okay? Tell me, being involved in this courthouse, all right, what's your attitude about politics?
You know, I do think it's important to have some of this younger generation be involved. You know, it's not often that you see someone my age, you know, running for office. And I think it would be very important to have everyone involved in the local government, in the community. You know, it's something, you know, that I am very passionate about, trying to get some of the younger generation to be involved in what's going on here.
Looking at politics in general, there's good and bad, okay?
Sure.
And a person told me many years ago, good politicians make for good government, okay? The word there is good. And sometimes people are just lied to all the time. They're deceived, particularly when elections come along. You know, you see people now that you never saw before, and they're clapping you on the, you know, patting you on the back, how you doing? And it's all bull to me, because the substance is in there. We have a couple running in this in the row offices. I don't want to mention their names, but to me, they're some of them. I've been around a long time. Okay, I've done over 6,000 shows. I've seen a lot of phonies, okay, and it hurts me to see that these phonies are running for office and try to deceive the public, especially the seniors out there, because they're, you know, they tell the best jokes or whatever, which is complete nonsense. Why should we vote for you?
Well, I mean, one thing about me, I'm not fake for this position. You know, I'm not running just to see my name on a sign, to see my name on a ballot. I'm running because I believe in this office. I've been working here for 8 years, and I don't want to see it just go to anybody who has no idea what goes on here, because it is a difficult office to run. And I've been doing it, you know, for 6 years or so that I've been working with the women here. I've been running the day-to-day operations. I don't think there's anybody who is more qualified to do this position.
Well, you've been, you know, it's funny, the very first time I interviewed a person for the row office, you heard about Clerk of Courts, Bathonetary, you know, judgeship or whatever, but when I was talking to Marie, and you're bringing the same thing up, and after she was telling me all the things that the Clerk of Court does, and I'm saying, wow, you know, and wow, you know, and when you get involved with it, then you know how very important this position is. You know,
it is very important.
And so you being here for 8 years, working as a deputy, right?
Yeah, I'm the first deputy.
What are some of the key things that you're going to continue to do or will do?
You know, we'd like to keep. We implemented working with the district attorney's office to retain bail money. So anytime a defendant puts up their own bail money, which could be thousands of dollars, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, instead of having that money like previously, it would just go back to the defendant. You know, they posted it, their case is over, and they would get it back. But the victim wasn't seeing that money. Then they would, you know, be set up on a payment plan, $20 a month.
Explain to me this. When you're talking about bail money, okay, all right, a person goes in and he's put on bail for $50,000, okay? Does he necessarily have to come up with $50,000 or property, or how does that work? First of all,
it will be determined by the judge. Okay. So they could do, say it's $50,000, they could do $50,000 straight. So you would have to post $50,000, but it could be 10%. So you'd only have to do $5,000, which is what we see a lot of, a percentage cash bail.
So they give you $5,000. Okay. So where does that money go then?
That goes into the general fund for our account.
All right, so then it goes into general fund. All right,
yeah.
so
not that we use it. It's just that's where it's held.
Okay, so when does that money either go back, or where does that money go then after the case is settled?
Yeah, once the case is disposed of, 30 days is usually a general rule of when we hold it, just for the appeal process.
Okay, and then what happens then?
Then the district attorney, which is what we implemented, the district attorney they have 20 days to do a motion to retain that bail money. So it would go towards the defendant's fines and costs or their restitution, which right now it's 50%, I think. So 50% would, if you pay $100, $50 goes to the victim, and then $50 goes to their fines and costs.
Okay, so what was happening before that?
It was just going back to the defendant, you know. They would just receive the money back. But right now, they're getting it, you know, we're trying to keep it so it will pay towards the victim.
So how much bail money do you think you go through a year?
Oh, geez, a lot. I'd say you know, over 100,000.
Okay. So over $100,000 that wasn't going into the general fund before. When you clean this up, now that money's going, whatever is going back into the general fund.
Yes.
Okay. When I'm looking at the general fund, I'm looking at money going into that. I'm saying to myself, well, okay, that's the general fund, and that's where taxpayers have to, if there's budgets and the budgets go haywire and there's not enough money, well, now then there's an increase in tax. And that's why I say it's so important to know who you're putting in office, okay? You've been through all that, haven't you?
I have, yeah. And I mean, I'm willing to work with the commissioners, to speak about the budget, and because our office does, I think we're one of, the highest generating money offices here. So we do add a lot to the general fund each year. And we are always under budget. We're very proud of that.
Yeah, Maria was telling me that. So you work very closely with her, right?
Yes.
Okay. Folks, I'm talking to Crista DiCasimirro. She's running for Clerk of Courts. And I just say to you, it's whomever, get to know who the person is, get to know who's going to be managing your money, just like if you went to the bank and you wanted to have someone manage your money or whatever, an investor, you want to make sure you get the qualified people in there. I can't stress that enough, okay? If I'm going to vote for someone, I'm not going to vote for them because they have a nice personality. I'm not going to vote for them because they have a big family. I'm not going to vote for them because they're popular. They belong to different clubs and they tell the best jokes. And that's okay to go out and socialize. But when it affects your lives, you want to make sure you get the best qualified people in there. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. November 7th, please vote. And don't give up, okay? Elections are going to be safe. They're going to not fool you like you may think. I'm here at the Schuylkill County Courthouse speaking to Crista DiCasimirro. She's running for Clerk of Courts. And once again, this is nothing new for you.
Right.
How many years you been here?
8 years.
And you became deputy?
In 2017.
Okay. And so basically you know this place in and out.
I sure do.
Okay. And you're going to be handling a lot of money, which you've already handled.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sitting here at home watching this show, and I'm looking and saying, well, why should I vote for her for Clerk of Courts?
I would say just again that I'm very qualified. Like I said, I've been here. I've been in charge of this office now since 2017. I have knowledge of every single job that we do in this office. I've done them all. So I just think that I'm very qualified, very knowledgeable, and a good leader to all the women that work for me here. So that's why I would ask, the county to vote for me.
I wish you, as I wish everyone, the very best of luck. And I applaud anyone, even though there are some phonies out there. I applaud them for giving an effort, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My friends, November 7th, please look at the candidates, then look at their billboards and the signs, okay? Because it's important. They affect your life. Look what's happening today. Have you been buying gas? Have you been to the grocery store? Have you checked your utility bills? Why are they so high? And why are senior citizens actually struggling? We put people in office. They controlled our lives. We have to do something about it. It's sad. It is very sad. We'll see you next time.